Hi, Pengu. Can you hear me? I just log on trying to test my microphone. Mm, can hear me? Anyone can hear me? Let me know. Oh, it's okay. I can hear myself. Fail a science test. Like, how many marks? Joking, got AL1. Okay, that's good. I mean, you're in P6, Pengu. I'm guessing lah. Okay, so if you're in P6, these tests should be on like photosynthesis energy, maybe forces. I think don't have forces. So it's a very short test. Getting AL1 is okay, it's good, but hope you don't get complacent. Okay, because the final journey will be like during your September. Is it September 29th? Hi Asher. I believe I forgot you because because last month don't have TikTok. So last month because Chinese New Year. So yeah. Then I skipped the TikTok live. So Celestine, hi. Hi everyone. That's why today I log in a bit earlier. Yes, I mean Asher, I remember you. I remember the name Asher Roy Fu. How's everyone? Hi Singapore. What is that? Hon Paul. Okay. Hi everyone. Hope you're I don't know, like enjoyed New Year and hope you all did well for the test. Okay, now this week is the holiday. Hope you all can enjoy, catch a break, or like I don't know if you want to catch a break, catch a break. If you wanna study harder, then study harder. Hi Yihao. You attended the webinar this month. I suppose you attended which webinar? Tell me more. We were like the monthly one. I mean this week lah. This week is the March webinar bootcamp, right? So you attended the Maths Chinese Science one, or are you in P6? I suppose you're in P6. P6 will be, when is it? I don't remember when is the bootcamp. Oh, but there's also the physical one, right? Are you attending the physical one or the online one? So I'm not sure. Because now there's also physical lesson. I mean, there's the bootcamp also has physical ones in the tuition center. So okay, we just still got 5 more minutes before we start lah. Okay, I started a bit earlier. Okay, so in case y'all haven't downloaded this like worksheet, we're starting at 7, so 5 more minutes. Just chill and catch up a bit. How come no timer? Timer usually I don't put timer lah. I lazy to put the timer, but I think y'all should know it's starting at 7 by now. If you attend all the TikTok live, we always start at 7 right? So a bit lazy to put the timer because like need to adjust this, adjust that. Okay, okay. Like science, good. I mean, science is what is my point of view? Okay, I like to teach science, but I don't like to do science question. Whereas for maths, is the opposite. I like to do maths question, but when it comes to teaching maths question, sometimes it can get a bit challenging. The worksheet you can download it from the AGrader website. You go and search the AGrader website for the TikTok live. Okay, it says get your worksheet link in bio. I don't know if you click the link in the bio, does it bring you there? I'm not very familiar with the TikTok settings, but I know you can download it from the AGrader website. Okay. I also like open apostrophe close. English very hard for our school. I got AL5. Okay. I mean, I cannot comment too much because my English is also quite bad last time. My English and Chinese is quite bad. Smart partner. What is smart partner? Also got AL5. Okay. But total AL still AL8. Total AL8. That's very good already. Okay. But like just now I was saying, even if this like test you did well, I hope you all don't get complacent. Okay, continue to work hard. I think like it's gonna be very soon. I think less than 6 months, right? It's already like middle of March, right? March, April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 more months. Okay, and then PSLE will be done. Usually the science paper is the last paper. If I remember, the PSLE science is the on the 29th, is it? Smart partner is like his table partner, means you sit with the partner in class, but he is smart. So you are the not so smart partner, is it? If your partner is the smart one. So they pair the smart one with the one that needs a bit more motivation and encouragement. I need to go seek. Okay. Anyway, 2 more minutes. All right, we're gonna start soon. Okay. Let's just hold on. The guy sitting beside me is very kind. Okay. I mean, it's always good to have like someone nice sitting beside you to help you. Okay, that's pretty good. But you, how are you, a boy or girl? I mean, I don't know. Auto clicking the likes. Thank you, but there's really no need to. Okay. I'm teaching at the Sengkang CC branch. Okay. Okay, before we start, right? If you're like want to do some like online lesson, okay, you can consider registering. Actually, my P6 online class still has 1 or 2 slots available. Okay, so if you are looking for to join my class, you can consider, okay, or the other teachers classes as well. Okay, but mine is because mine is P6. I'm taking the P6 science this year, and I think just nice I got 1 more slot available. Okay, so doing some advertising for myself. Okay, I think we can slowly start soon. I believe right now in school, you all would have started on forces already, right? But not so much living environment, right? But if you are a current A-grader student, we have already started on, last week we already started on food chain food web already, right? So living environment, the food chain food web, okay, is another very big topic. It's quite confusing, food chain food web, but once you get the idea, okay, I don't think it's gonna be too difficult. Oh no, okay, I just realized I need to look at my screen. Okay, if not I forget my screen. If not I forget my screen. Hold on, okay, I'm Japan right now, but I have to start because of poll. What is poll? Okay, who's that speaking? No, it's my like phone, because I turn on the TikTok so that I can see the screen and see is it covering or not. It's my clone. Yes, my clone. Okay, let's get started with today's lesson. I think today there's gonna be a Kahoot at the end. So a little lesser. Look at the lights. Look at what lights. Look at the lights. There's a light here. Okay. Lights or lights. Okay. The first question is Sulin conducted an experiment to investigate the effect of Earth force. Okay, I hope you all still remember the 5 effects of the forces, right? There are 5. you don't need to be able to like name all five at the like of your what's the English thing, off your fingertip, high net. Okay, but you must at least be able to name a few, like move a stationary object, a change direction, speed up, change the shape, stop a moving object. All right. Okay, so to four different spring. Okay, so this is on spring ABCD. She measured the length of the spring before and after a 400 gram of load is attached to the end of each spring. Results are shown in the graph below. All right, so I'm sure all of you, not all of you, I think most of you already know what is the answer. Okay, but let me take a look if there's anything I can value add to your learning. Right, Sushi Monster, yes, hi Alice. Still remember you, but if you ask me what is your like real name, I don't think I remember. Okay, hi everyone. It's good to see y'all. Okay, so in this graph, right, this is the original length, right? So the original length is here. The first thing you need to realize is that the spring is actually being stretched, right? Because all the length like increased, right? Okay, so all the length increased, and looking. Okay, I don't know if I should go about calculating the increase, but you should read on first um, before you understand what to look out for. Okay, so if the question is asking you which spring is the stiffest, okay, so remember the stiffest spring will stretch the least. Okay, all right. So when you look at the graph, now you know A stretch 20. Okay, the extension is 20. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people also know my name because it's out there already. Like during the boot camp, if you watch the TikTok video, I think my name is also on the boot camp website. I mean, introducing the teacher, right? So it's not a big secret. Okay, so B is 30, right? Just do some simple calculation, 50 minus 20, right? Just in case you don't know where I get the value from, right? C is 20, okay, and D is only 5, right? Saw you before in another life, like, okay. Okay, so in this case, you know that B is the one that is the least, okay, added info lah, okay, least stiff, right? Okay, and then if you want to know which one, okay, I'm sure you already know the answer is number 4, right? D is the spring that is the most stiff, right? So is this a fair experiment? Yeah, this is a fair experiment lah. Everything is the same, right? The load is the same, right? The only changed variable is the spring, 4 different type of spring. Okay, anything else you all want to ask about regarding like elastic spring forces, because it's a new topic for y'all. Got it correct. Okay, good. Right. So forces is actually not a very difficult topic. All right. Energy and force, typically students do quite well in these two topics. I think it's the one behind the food chain, food web. Adaptation especially, I think is a bit difficult. Yeah, I think most of the students right now in school, you all would have just started on forces. Okay, but this is the part where I think a lot of students will get confused between force and energy, right? Because there's elastic spring force, there's elastic potential energy. Okay, so they are different, all right? And also the answering techniques. When you are answering the OEQ, don't mix them together. Don't use energy answering techniques with forces answering techniques. Okay. Okay, we move on to question 2. Starting next term. Yeah, I think some I heard some of my students say they will start like after the holiday. Why do some people mix up energy and forces? I think it can be quite confusing. Like if you ask me how to explain what's the difference between energy and force, I also really cannot explain it well. I know energy is like ability to do work. Forces is like a push and a pull, right? That's all I can say. Food web, no, there's no food web, but there are some questions on living environment. There's no food chain food web, right? Okay, we go through question 2 first. Right, Nelson taped a balloon, okay, firmly to a toy car and created a balloon racer as shown in the diagram below. So this one is like a very classical educational toy which we use to teach about forces, right? Because the balloon is elastic, okay? So if you inflate it, right, let it go, it's going to cause the air to rush out, okay? And then it will push the car to move forward. Okay, so you all made it in school. Yes, I think it'll be quite interesting if you try to make things yourself. I think this one not too difficult to make. I think there are some like DIY videos. Okay, you can use the what's that ice cream stick, and then the stick, and then use the bottle cap to make it. Okay, so when the rubber band was removed, air rushed out of the balloon, producing a force. So this force will cause the balloon and the toy car to move in this direction, right? So the air rush out from here, you push it forward. Okay, the reason why the toy car moved in direction X, because this force is greater than what? Okay, so this force, okay, refers to the right the force exerted by the air, right? So a lot of you are saying is 3. Okay, I will take note, but let me go through the others as well, so see if there's anything else for you all to learn. Okay, number 1, the weight of the toy car and balloon is greater than the weight of the toy car and balloon. Okay, but weight of the toy car is not the only force, right? Okay, it is not the only force. Okay, there's also friction, right? So a lot of you already know that it needs to overcome friction. Like imagine if the ground here is very rough, right? Okay, then weight is not the only thing it needs to overcome. All right. So is it weight of the balloon and the wheels? I think balloon, wheels, toy car, everything is together one. So okay, option 2 is also a bit weird. Option 3, okay, friction between the wheels and the ground. All right, so friction between is always a good habit to talk about friction between what? The wheels and the ground. Wait, it makes me have accident every day. What makes you have accident every day? Lose $1 billion every day. Okay. But what about number 4? Okay, friction between the balloon and the toy car. Okay, friction between the balloon and the toy car is over here, right? So it will not cause it to move. In fact, over here, you do want to have a lot of friction. If not, then the balloon will just fly off. Okay. So the balloon will be attached to it by a tape. Okay. Okay, so it's not friction between the balloon and the toy car. Okay, so answer will be number 3, right? Let me just scroll up and see if there's any question. 3, I love friction. I don't know about that. Sometimes you, of course, on a rainy day, you don't want to sleep and fall. I think you want friction, but like sometimes you don't want friction, especially if you're running. How is my dog? He's fine. Okay, still eating, still alive. But last few months having diarrhea. So every time, like when I'm having an online lesson, all this, like if he like poop on the ground, then it's gonna stink up my house. Yes, I have a dog. Yes, diarrhea. Yeah, yeah. Still having diarrhea. So because it's very old. Okay. Okay. Any question about the question 2 on the friction? Okay, elastic spring force. Time for the vet. No lah. I don't think the vet is gonna save him. He's too old. Oh yeah, I shot my dog before on one life. Okay. You still remember? My smart partner also play chess. Okay, it's good to play chess at this age. I think it helps to cultivate critical thinking skill. He call me annoying chess player because sometimes I just randomly do 9/11. Just anyhow like eat and then just die, right? Okay. Okay, we move on to question 3. Question 3 is on the living things and the environment. Okay. Bala places a tank below next to an open window. Okay, so this one is like a wire thing, so air can enter, right, and go out. So the living things will be able to survive, right? We see plants, spider, okay, wire mesh, and caterpillar. So in this topic of living things and environment, we need to take note of the number of organisms. Okay, so all of them is more than one, all right? Okay, so which of the following is correct? Okay, number one says that the spider form two population. Does it form two population? Okay, no, it doesn't, right? So the spider itself, because it's like the same kind, okay, it only form a single population. Okay, let's try not to spam the answer. Okay, I'm sure y'all will know what is the answer, but okay. So number one is definitely wrong, right? So in living things and the environment, you all learn about organism, population, community, habitat. Okay, so all these are not too difficult. You just have to get used to it. Number two, the caterpillar form one community. Okay, the caterpillar do not form one community. They form one population. Yes, chill, don't spam, don't spam. Okay, so number two is also wrong. Number three, the tank forms one population for the organism. Okay, the tank is not one population. It is actually a community. Okay, just like your community center, right? Community center will have a lot of activities, a lot of different people come together, right, to do different things as well. Okay, so it's very easy to understand what's a community. Okay, I'm sure number four is the answer because a lot of you are saying number four is the answer, right? The plant, spider, and caterpillar, okay, they all form a single community, all right? Okay, so a community is like a certain area. Like there are 6 common communities which you all need to be familiar with. Like I think some of them is like the tree, mangrove, sea community, seashore community, grass garden. Okay, not grass, sorry, field garden. Okay, these are the few community which you all need to be familiar about. Okay. Okay, answer is number 4. Alright, so the main thing to take note of in this topic is the environmental factor, right? We split it into the living factor and the non-living factor, right? So please pay attention to the living factor and the non-living factor. Two or more of the same type of animal or from the same life cycle forms a population. Two or more. Yeah, okay. If it's only a single animal, faith C, okay. If it is only a single animal, that is not considered a population, right? Very good. I think this is my weakest. No lah, Nat. I think this one is quite easy because you haven't gone through the course. So don't worry. The reason why I want to put some questions is I want to use this chance to teach you all. Okay? Okay. Any question? Population of annoying ants. To be honest, like I also don't really like especially ants coming into my house. Okay, but ants anywhere else is not my problem. Okay, so answer is number 4 for this. All right, I'm gonna move on slowly. Question 4, I think question 4 is the annoying one. Okay, because the moment I see this kind of question, it's like I hope they don't ask me to go and count or something. Okay, and tastes good. I mean, you've eaten. I don't know. You went to I know some country they sell like the what fried grasshopper, fried maggot or something. Okay, I don't think I'll dare to eat them. Okay, but okay, next question 4. Wendy counted the number of organisms in a habitat. Okay, habitat is like the home of organisms. Okay, she recorded her observation in the table below. So these are the organisms. Okay, these are the number of organisms. Okay, I don't see a single organism. So okay, butterfly, fish, frog, caterpillar, tadpole, water lily, hydrilla, and water hyacinth. Right. So the first thing to take note is butterfly and caterpillar. They belong to the same organism, right? So they butterfly and caterpillar, they are considered one population, right? Let me draw a line so that we can learn something. All right. So butterfly and caterpillar, okay, is one population. Okay, I hope it's not blocked. Oh, it is. Okay, so fish, right? Fish is another population. Frog and tadpole. Oh, okay, almost missed out. Frog and tadpole is also considered one population. Okay, I'm running out of color. Water lily, um, hydrilla is considered one population. Okay, and then water hyacinth, okay, is also considered another population. All right. So how many different colors do we have? One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, so there are like six population of animals, okay, in this habitat. So based on when this table, which of the following statement is correct? Okay, this kind of question is always very irritating because you got to slowly go through them one by one. That's why I don't see any one of your spamming. Faith thinks is number four. Okay, I will watch out for number four. Okay, are there 7 water plants? Okay, I think it's more than 7, right? Because over here is all the water plants. There are 9 water plants. Okay, so wrong, there are 9. Okay, are there 8 community? Okay, this is definitely wrong. Don't need to see. Okay, there's only 1 community. Okay, so you can consider this whole, like all the organisms, to be in a single community. Let me check your answer. Okay, we're only left with three or four, right? I'm pretty confident number 2 is wrong. Okay, number 1, okay, I think should be wrong also. Number 3, there are 5 population of animal. I think we already figured this out, right? So this is like 1. Okay, fish is 2, frog is 3, water lily is 4, okay, hydrilla is 5, and water hyacinth is 6. All right, so there are 6. 3 is wrong. Wait, what do you mean by 3 is wrong? You mean number 3 is wrong? Okay, so there are 6 population. Okay, population. But if you're not careful, okay, you might think that there are 8 population. But even so, okay, then you will be confused between 3 and 4 already. Okay, there are 6 population of plants and animals altogether. Okay, it's 5. You mean that there's 5 population? Wait, butterfly caterpillar is 1, fish is 2. Okay, frog and tadpole is considered a third population. Okay, then water lily is 4, 5, 6, but 6 population are not 5. Option 5. Oh, there's no option 5. Okay, so I thought you were saying there's 5 population. Option 5, not 5 population. Okay, there's no option 5, so luckily answer will be option 4. Okay, so this is a very small trick that you'll need to take note of when counting population. All right, the question will try to trick you. They will put the animal and its young together. All right, only animals. Oh, only animals. Okay, good. Thanks for who is the one that pointed it out? Alice. Yes. Thanks for telling me that. These are all plants. Okay, where is my purple? Maybe these are all plants. Okay, these are all, I want to use a different color. These are all, okay, animals. Okay, so there are 3 population of animal and 3 population of plants. Okay, good. Thanks for telling me. It's 3 population of animals. Okay. Is Singapore not you? Oh, okay, thanks. Singapore call Paul. Okay, any other mistake? Good. At least it means that you are like paying attention. Singapore can Paul. Just call me Adia. Is it? Okay, I'm very bad with names, especially pronouncing names. So recently I just managed to like get a few of my P3 students angry because I keep getting their names wrong, but never mind. Okay, no question, right? Just gotta move on. Try to pronounce your name. Alice is like a very classical name, so no problem. Are you Teacher Ray? No, I'm not Teacher Ray. Teacher Ray is a lot taller. Okay, what's the answer? I have Dora Explorer Vision. The answer is number 4 for question 4. Okay. What is Dora Explorer Vision anyway? But okay, I don't know. Dora the Explorer is not my generation of cartoon. Try to pronounce Yihan. Yihan is easier to pronounce. Okay. That's why I put nickname. Okay. Okay, we move on to the next question. All right, question 5. Dora the Explorer has Blind Pro Max. Okay, question 5. We move on to the OEQ section. We're done with the MCQ section already. 4 identical wooden cubes were each tied to similar pail and placed on a different surface. Okay, so this is the 4 cubes ABCD. These are all different surfaces. Okay, so the changed variable is already out. Okay, a 50-gram mass is then added one by one into each pail. So this is there's a pail here. You keep adding this 50-gram mass into it. Okay, then until the wooden cube, start to slide. Okay, slide off completely from the surface. Okay, so yes, sounds like the weight needs to overcome friction, right? Okay, between the wooden cube and the different surface. So if you look at the result here, okay, immediately I always tell my students to pay attention to the highest and the lowest, right? So this is the lowest, and it definitely shows that surface B is the one that has the least friction, least frictional force. That means maybe it's the most smooth, right? And then surface C is the most friction, right? So probably got to keep in mind surface C is probably the roughest surface. Okay, so for part A, what kind of force do the wooden cube they have to overcome, right, in order to slide off? Okay, so A is pretty simple. I think just now I saw someone put frictional force already, right? Okay, yes, try not to spam. Okay, it's gonna spoil the learning experience of others. I also don't want to ban you, all right? Although I can. Okay, Jacob, so stop spamming, all right? Okay, so friction, I think, is something that you probably already know, right? So because you would have heard of it before, I hope you would have heard of it before, right? Okay, move on to part B, right? Based on the result, so based on the result here, arrange the surfaces B, C, and D from the smoothest to the roughest. Okay, so only B, C, and D. Don't need to look at A. Anyway, you should have you should see this as well. Okay, 10 something is wrong, right? So you will need to pay attention to this. All right. Okay, so BDC, BDC. I know for sure B is the smoothest, right? We already figured out. Okay, I know for sure C is the roughest. Okay, so I just need to know the middle must be D lah. All right. Okay, again, if this kind of question comes up, I think it's pretty easy, right? Just make sure you don't make any mistake. Okay, grab the marks. And next part of the question, surface A is supposed to be smoother than D. Okay, A is smoother than D. So you would expect this value to be lesser. But how come they are the same? Right? Okay, this should set you thinking. Okay, yet the experiment could not tell them apart. Right? We know could not tell them apart because they're both the same, right? 10, 10. How do we know? Okay, so the question is asking you to suggest a change to improve the accuracy of the experiment. Add lubricant to surface A of the ramp. Um, but then that will change the surface. So I don't think you can add lubricant to the surface. You should keep the surfaces as the original surface, right? Okay, yes, Singapore or Adia, right? Repeat 2 more times is to ensure it is reliable. Okay, so be careful. This one is not, okay, not repeat, okay, 2 more or 3 more times, okay, because you repeat 1 million times, you will still get back the same result, okay. So the problem is the accuracy issue. Okay, be careful about the differences between like accuracy and reliability lah. So repeat 2 more times is to, okay, let me write it beside, is to ensure your results are reliable. Okay, ensure reliable results. Okay, some students like to say ensure the results are consistent and reliable, right? So it's also fine. Okay, any suggestion on what to do to improve the accuracy? So how? If both are the same, how do you tell like between surface A and D? Okay, we already know that surface A is supposed to be smoother than D. So how? Okay, Karin, hi. Okay, now nobody is spamming answer. Where's the one who got AL1? Okay, I guess nobody knows. Okay, so I am gonna go through it. Okay, what you can do is you can change the 50-gram mass to a smaller mass. Okay, so for example, change the 50-gram to maybe 20-gram instead, or 10-gram will be even better. All right. Okay, so no, this is not math, this is science. Okay, so when you change it to a smaller mass, right, using loads that are of smaller value, then it will be able to improve the accuracy. Okay, I hope you understand this part C. I think questions asking accuracy is not very common, but once in a while they do come out during school tests. So try to be careful, okay? Because I also like to set questions on accuracy because they really force students to think, okay? So in order to improve the accuracy, use loads that are smaller, okay, than 50 grams. Okay, so sorry, 5 grams, 50 grams. So example, okay, 20 grams, okay, instead. Okay, this one is additional. So for those who don't understand what it means by use loads that are smaller than 50 grams. Okay. Okay. Let's see any other question. Okay. No question. Have it increase the mass, should be decrease the mass. Sin. Okay, I just saw the message. Not increase the mass. Increase the mass, then it will be worse. Like imagine you increase it until 1 kg, for example. then everyone you just put 1 kg, then everything will drop. So how do you tell the difference, right? You got a question? Okay, what's your question? Yes, yes, yes. I saw you, Pengu. How do I type? Testing net testing twice is for reliability, okay, not accuracy. How do I type? Type what? I'm confused now. Chicken rice, but no chicken and no rice. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next question, question 6. All right. I think this worksheet is a bit more on forces, especially the OEQ lah, because like population question, or sorry, those living environment question also a bit difficult to find. Okay. Okay, question 6. Ray set up the experiment as shown below. So he like put a ramp and there's a wooden block. Okay, and then he allowed the block to slide down. Okay, very simple experiment, right? He released the wooden block from the top, okay, and measured the distance traveled by the block. Okay, measured variable is the distance traveled by the block, and the time taken as well. Okay, so he measured 2 things. You have time on the casual. Shoot my dog. He's sleeping, so I don't want to disturb him. When he's sleeping, like I don't want to disturb him because once he wake up, then he will walk around. Then I'm very worried he will poop. Okay, so the distance is here, time taken is here, right? So okay, the block moved 60 cm using only 2 seconds. All right. Okay, Ray repeated the experiment by applying oil. Okay, so when you apply oil, it is a form of lubricant, right? Okay, lubricant will reduce friction. All right, so give my mic to the dog. I don't think he's sleeping lah. All right. Okay, so if you apply oil or even just water, right, then it will be a form of lubricant that will reduce friction. Okay, reduce friction, then expect the time to decrease, right? Okay, the distance will probably increase as well. Okay, so which graph a PQRS correctly represents the setup with oil added? Okay, so definitely not these two, right? Okay, because these two took a longer time. Okay, what breed is your dog? I have a Jack Russell Terrier. Okay, should listen to Pengu. Just now he said like yeah, I got a way to avoid PSLE. Sure, what is your way? But now y'all don't have COVID to avoid PSLE anymore. I had a student who like right before PSLE got COVID, and then she don't need to take PSLE. So be absent, but you cannot be absent without any reason. Get someone to kidnap you from like during the month of September. Ask your cousin to kidnap you, okay? Then you will not need to take PSLE. Okay, so yes, Q definitely not Q, right? Because Q is the exact same as this, right? Also 60 and 2, right? So cannot be the exact same, all right? So it must be P because P took a shorter time, right? If you were to draw a line down, then less time, all right? So remember when you add lubricant, right? So it's gonna go down faster, right? So faster, then it should take lesser time, all right? Okay, so answer will be graph P. Your cousin is in sec 2. I think as a good cousin, right, he will probably want to see you suffer lah. If I'm your cousin, I will want to see you suffer through PSLA because like since I went through the suffering, then you must also go through the suffering. Okay. All right. So I hope you understand that it is P. Then explain why. Okay, you choose the graph. So when you explain, just talk about the time, right? I think it's easiest to talk about the timing, okay? So if you are not so sure how to talk about the time, just extend this point here. Or if you don't understand how to see the time, right, draw a line down. Okay, so this is all the time taken. All right, so you can see for R and S, right, it took a longer time. Okay, not done copying. Okay, but there's only one alphabet to copy. Okay, there's also some annotations. Okay, just pause here for a while. I think still got time. We're going really, really fast. Not really. I think we are just kind of like on time because we still got the Kahoot. Yes, yes, today got Kahoot. Okay, so my teacher son got AL5 for total. AL5 total is very good. Okay. I've never won Kahoot before. I think even if I were to join, I also don't think I can win. Got Kahoot, yes. Alright. Okay. Okay, done copying. I hope you're done. Let's move on to I did win. Oh yeah, Sushi, you won once. Eden, okay. Okay. Alright, so we move on to the next part. Okay, explain why you choose the graph. That means why did you choose P? Right. So before you explain why you choose P, maybe you can talk about how you realize that it is going to travel faster, right? Because the oil, okay, is a form of acts as a lubricant. Okay, which will reduce friction. Okay, when you talk about friction, it's always good habit to talk about a friction between the block. Yes, cloudly. Okay, and the ramp. Okay, so graph. I was hearing stuff. Huh? Hearing stuff must have been the wind. Maybe I like let off gas, so you all heard it. No, I did not. Okay, graph P took less than. Okay, is it 2 seconds? Yes. Okay, graph P took less than 2 seconds. Okay, but graph no booklet, yeah. R and S. Okay, but graph R and S took okay more than okay 2 seconds. Okay, to travel 60 meter. I think 60 meter. Blue kit, pronounced as blue kit. Okay. Okay, so talk about oil as a lubricant first, which reduces friction, right? And then after that, talk about how you realize it's P. Okay, because P took less than 2 seconds, whereas for RNS, they took more than 2 seconds, okay, to travel the 60 meter. Science is my strongest subject. That's good. Okay, I hope your other subjects are like strong as well, like doing well. Okay, because remember I was just telling one of my students that you will only be as good as your worst subject. So make sure you like you are also doing well for other subjects. Okay. Mm. Is it lagging? I'm not so sure. All my subjects are perfectly fine. That's good. Mm. Okay, I'm gonna move on to part C. Without changing the elastic ramp, suggest a one change to set up A so that the wooden block will take a longer time. Okay, take a longer time to reach the bottom of the plastic wrap. Okay, you cannot change the plastic wrap. That means you cannot say things like use a rougher surface. Okay, so maybe what we can do is probably we can adjust the height, right? Change the height of the block, okay, into a shorter block. How do I say what is this? Okay, or I can just say decrease the height of H. All right. My friend got 6 out of 40 for mathematics. Okay, there are always people who are not so good with mathematics. Mathematics, I think, is one of those subjects where it's either you are good at it or you're just bad at it. Okay, so decrease. Okay, the yes, Cloudly, don't need to try and catch my attention. Okay, if you have a question, just type the question in. Right. If not, like I'll ignore you next time. Okay. Ah, so you're catching my attention just to say hi to me. Okay, then I'm gonna ignore you already. Okay, decrease the height, okay, of H. All right. So decreasing the height, that means you will make it like, I think in terms of energy is a bit easier to explain, right? Because there's less potential energy, so convert to less kinetic energy. All right. Okay. But I always tell my students like don't compare yourself to the worst student. I mean to the students who are performing like not so good. Try to compare yourself to the students who are performing better, so as to motivate yourself to do better. Teacher, you know why they say more than once cause other people also type? Then you won't be able to see. Oh, okay. Because it's flooded, right? Yep. But haven't learned forces yet. Okay. I did I will teach a bit of things here and there, but we're just going through questions now. Okay, so I hope you all will learn a bit of things, learn a bit of concepts here and there. Okay, we move on to question 7. I think should be just nice. Okay, question 7 diagram below shows the bow and arrow. I don't know how many of you all played the bow and arrow before. I actually never played it before. Okay, when the string of the bow is put back 30 cm from its original position. Okay, write down the forces acting on arrow X. Okay, so what are the forces acting on the arrow? Okay, this string is elastic, right? So definitely there will be elastic spring force. Okay. Okay, I think you have got it correct. Elastic, frictional, and gravitational force. Okay, but where is the frictional force? Okay, frictional force is between here. Okay, there must be friction here, right? If not, it's going to be very difficult to position it, right? Okay, and then at the same time, remember gravitational force acts on everything. Okay, so there's also gravity. Okay, so elastic spring force, frictional, okay, and gravitational force. Where is bio? Where is the bio? Um, I'm actually not very sure as well. I think got to click into the profile. Click into the profile of the AGrader account. Okay. Okay. Any question about forces? Cloudly, I hope you learned something about forces, right? So there's elastic spring force, there's frictional force, and gravitation force. It's called H. Mhm. Okay. Wait, what is your question, Pengu? Because there's too many like things going around. Um, what is H? Is that your question? I'm not ignoring you lah, but because there's so many messages and it's a bit difficult for me to like keep track. Okay. Okay. If you can spam your question again, that will be good. I cannot find your question. Okay, let's move on to the next part. All right. Okay, question 6. Okay, when the string is released, arrow X traveled a path as shown below. Okay, so this is the path that it traveled. All right. So before hitting the ground at point K. Okay, so this is the part where exactly, okay, because the direction change. Okay, so that is why you know a force is being like is acting on the arrow. Okay, because if there's no force acting on the arrow, it's gonna move straight all the way, right? So one of the effects of force is a force will change the direction of objects, right? A moving object. Okay, so although we cannot see forces, but we can see the effects of forces, right? So in terms of force, can explain the movement of arrow X from the point it is released till it hit the ground. Okay, so you can first talk about the elastic spring force, right? Over here. Okay, it's a bit bad. Hold on. Elastic spring force, right? Which will push, right? When explaining forces question, try to use push pull, right? Which will push the arrow forward, and gravitational force will pull it down. That's why it will change direction and move towards the ground. Okay. Okay. So when the string is released, okay, it will exert it exerted elastic force, okay, on X to push it, okay, forward. Then, okay, next talk about gravitational force. I thought you in the sky. Okay, not talking about the question. Gravitational force. Okay, that is acting, okay, on X. I hope X is the arrow. Okay, arrow X. Yes. Okay. Gravitational force acting on X. Okay. Pull it towards. Okay, I'm just gonna say put it downwards. Okay, put it downwards. Okay, allowing, okay, it to hit, okay, point K. All right. Okay, so when the string is released, it exerted elastic spring force on X, right, which will push it forward. And then the next one will be gravitational force acting on the X will pull it down. Okay, so allowing to hit the point K. Use the force. Yes. Okay, you have to use the force. Okay, yes. Yu Hao. My name is ISEEE. I copying correct ions. Okay. Let me just quickly finish up the last question, okay? So that you can copy while I am talking. Okay. So the activity is repeated with a similar sized arrow, but of a greater mass. Okay. So kind of like you can think of it as heavier, right? Okay. So draw the path taken by the arrow. So how will the path go? It's going to be like that, go up, okay, go like that, go where? Okay, so definitely will not go up lah. So I hope none of your draw go up. Okay, definitely will not go straight also, right? So you should be thinking like, is it going to travel further or is it going to travel nearer, right? Okay, so if it is heavier, you can like some students will think it will travel further. Okay, but the amount of elastic spring force that is exerted by the string will remain the same. Okay, it will not be like, it's not because it's heavier then you pull further. All right, so the path should be shorter. Okay, I think as long as it is not further than k, okay, should be fine. Okay, so the answer for part C is here. Okay, any question before I move on to Kahoot? Okay. Uh, okay. Yeah, you definitely can write short form. Okay. Don't need to write like the full thing. But of course, PSLE you cannot write short form lah. Okay. For practice or for lesson, yep. I always like also encourage my students to just write it in point form. Okay. Don't need to copy the full thing. Okay, are you done? Yes, Pengu. Yes, yes, I see you. I see you. Yes. Can you answer? But what's your question? Can you repeat your question? I never see your question just now, Pengu. I hope you copied it. Then you can copy and paste immediately. Can an arrow float up to the sun as the wind current was 999e plus 999? No. My science for TP1 is AL5. Okay, work hard. Okay, I'm sure you'll be able to improve proudly. Okay. Okay, I want to start the Kahoot already because like we're only left with 5 minutes. Okay, I hope you are done with copying. Okay, can? Right. I mean, it's up to you. You want to join? Of course you can just join. But if you don't want to join, it's fine. Okay. Okay. Just now already paused for very long already. So if you're not done, okay. Unfortunately, right. So I don't have time to go back already. Okay. Well, then you deserve it for not focusing. I would love to see that. Okay, so the pin 516790. Okay, let me maybe okay, can I copy or not? No, I cannot because it's not 516790. Okay. Okay, how many do we have now? 17 participants. Bye, Pegu. Enjoy your holiday. Can't join. I don't know why you can't join. Okay, I think I'm gonna start already. Those who okay, see you in Antarctica. I hope I can go there. Asking you to log in. Um, okay, but we're really running short of time now. Okay, those who those of you who are trying to join, okay, once you log in, actually you still can use the pin to join. Okay, I'm gonna paste it again. Okay, got it. Okay, good. I'm gonna start now. Okay. Okay, which of the following is not the effect of forces? Okay, remember the five effects of forces. Okay, three, two, one. Wow, most of you are gonna correct. So clever. I'm MJ. It's the first. Mm-mm. Okay, what kind of forces does the diver experience? Hmm, I anyhow choose. Okay, good. So definitely not magnetic force. Okay, next. The arrow only experience elastic spring force. Mm, just now we just talked about it. Okay, three, two, one. Oh, okay. Two-person sleeping. Okay, not much changes. What forces are involved in the picture? Hmm. P4. Okay, here for fun. Okay, what's the role of decomposers in the living environment? Hmm. Okay, what do decomposers do? I'm sure you would have heard about decomposers, right? Ooh, okay, you're not very sure. Hmm, very confusing, right? Anyhow, choose yes. Okay, decomposers break down matter into simpler substances. Dead matter, okay, not all matter, sorry. A population, just now I was like talking about a lot about population, right? What is a population? A population of ducks. Okay, good. It's not many species, okay? It's the same species. Okay, I'm MJ, back to the top. Okay, second last question. A community. What is a community? Refers to groups of animals from different habitat interacting with one another. Hmm. Mm, okay, its force is actually I don't think it's different habitat, like it's the same habitat. Okay. Ooh, big change. As Shane and I forgot who's the third one. Last question. Okay, double point. Which of the following are the correct non-living factors? Okay. Non-living factors. Okay. I hope you remember the living factors and the non-living factors. But then those who are not like our current student, okay, you will not go through this lesson. So I don't know if you know or not. Okay, but there's only four non-living factors here. Okay, light temperature, air, and water. Anybody? Okay, quite a fair bit of your choose disease and food. Okay, yeah, you haven't learned this yet, but okay, it's okay. It's a good I think experience. Third place Josh, second place Eden. First place is who? I'm MJ. Okay, right. Take a screenshot and Yu Hao, oh, and Ethan, fourth and fifth. Okay, and then okay, remember to contact the admins. I think you will still get the prize if I'm not wrong. Right, for those who are in the top three. Okay, then okay, enjoy your holiday. I will see you next month, I guess. Right. No more question. Okay, I need to go also. Okay, bye. I see you next month. Right, your fifth Chan family. Okay, bye bye. Bye. Wait, how do I end this live? Bye.